Hello everyone, as promised, here's a bonus ArtSnacks video for the month of June 2017. First of all, I would like to apologize for the small mishap. I didn't shoot the beginning of this video, but you didn't really miss much. I used the Tombow markers, mostly like watercolors for this drawing. I applied the pigment on my palette and I kept on dipping my water brush into the pigment, and then I blocked in all the darker areas of my drawing. So I kept on looking at my reference photo and just adding color to all the shadow areas. So I thought the paper from my watercolor sketchbook worked much better than the little Denik sketchbook that we had in the box. And the thickness of the paper was much better, and I could apply more water. And if there were areas where I had put too much color, I could rub my water brush with just water on it and then dab it a bit with paper towels. Once I was done with my first layer, I used the markers straight onto the paper and to show more shadows, like deeper shadows. And then I used the water brush again to kind of spread the color around. So I had trouble figuring out what to do for the eyes and the shadow, the hair area under the shower cap. I tried using a mechanical pencil that I had, but it was not very dark, and it didn't come out very well, I thought. So I used another pencil that I had that I got from another ArtSnacks box. It's a Blackwing pencil, and it's a little bit darker than my mechanical pencil. So it looked okay, but the shine of it made the eyes look very creepy. I used a paper towel to kind of smudge everything so that I wouldn't have any pencil marks. But still, in the end, I thought it was a bit weird. So I kept going a bit. I used the pastel pencil, the blue one, to add a little shadow and around the eye, the white of the eyes, and was okay, but I was not happy with it. So eventually what I did is I decided to cheat a little bit more. But still, I used two more items, and those two items were both from previous ArtSnacks boxes. For the shadow behind the head, I used all three markers mixed together: the green, the pink, and the red, and I ended up with a little brown greenish color. I used that on the neck as well, and I was not happy with that. Later on, I did change it and turned it and then covered it all up as part of the background. So at this point, I would have been almost done. I darkened the shadows a bit. And to finish my drawing, I ended up using the paint marker to do the background. I thought the blue looked really nice as a background, kind of like a sky background. But at this point, I was creeped out by the shiny eyes, so that's when I started cheating a bit more. So I used a black pen. I think it's a Zig. I can't remember the name. It's written in Japanese on the pen itself, but the ink is water soluble, so I diluted a bit the ink to get more shadow effects. I used it also for the pupils and where I needed darker areas. And the last extra item I used was a single white pen for just a few highlights, especially the highlights in the eyes. And then later on, I tried to add more highlights on the skin, but because the paper on my sketchbook is extra white, the white ink is a little slightly off-white. So if you look up close, it doesn't look very nice. So you can say I struggled a bit for this piece, but it has nothing to do with the supplies. I really enjoyed using them. It's just they didn't really work out very much with the subjects that I decided to draw. I fiddled a lot with what I had, and I did bits of ink and paint and a little everywhere, and eventually ended up with something that I was pretty happy with. But anyway, the point of this video is just to enjoy the Tombow markers on watercolor paper. They work very well. I really like them, much better than on the Denic sketchbook, which doesn't have the appropriate paper for water media. So go get some Tombow markers to try them out if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!